Welcome to the Schroeder Show, everybody. I'm your host, Rowdy Ray, and I'm here with my co-host, Papa Schroeder.
Papa in the house.
Rated R Randy.
What's up, what's up?
And we happen to have a new guest on the show, my man, Meezy.
Always here, please.
Not to mention my man B on the couch. And today is a specially themed show. We have a larger segment about Nipsey Hussle, and then we're gonna mix in a little bit of UFC 236, some NFL talk, and to cap it all off with true or false. I'm sure everybody's heard the unfortunate news that has come to us all. Nipsey Hussle is no longer with us. And with that being said, I just want to give the man a moment of silence, not just for him being a rapper, but for the person, the man that he was, and all that he gave us. May he rest in power. Now, before we get fully into the show, we kind of just wanted to do a small memorial to Nipsey Hussle. And so we'll talk about some of our favorite songs or favorite moments from Nipsey Hussle.
So how did y'all get into Nipsey? Like, what was your introduction?
I'll probably say my first introduction to Nipsey was probably from my dude Ray over here. Yeah, he played me that Keys to the City, and I was like, Nipsey, that fire. Got that heat.
Same. Ray got me on Nipsey as well.
I know for me, my cousin played it for me like 2011 maybe, and just one of the dopest songs you could hear. Definitely one of the dopest. It was Keys to the City, by the way. One of the dopest songs you could hear, man. And even from then, I wasn't fully on Nipsey like that as far as the artist, but
you know
that song, I knew he was dope. I obviously respected the man he was. But yeah, Keys to the City was that fire. That's what got me on him.
For me, I remember I was reading Double XL back in like late 2009, early 2010, and they was promoting his name because he had just dropped Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 3, and this song called Hustle in the House was on there. And that was like his quote-unquote breakout single. And that was the first time I heard him, and my big brother was, he was kind of like a Nipsey-esque figure to me at the time, kind of gangbanger, but like cool nigga at the same time. So it was kind of like listening to like my big brother rap, even though my big brother didn't rap.
I can feel it.
Yeah, that was my introduction to him.
I think it's crazy to look at like that time period, and I know like personally a lot of people that I picked up listening to between Nipsey, with Freddie Gibbs, Currency, Wiz,
Mac
Big
Miller.
Crit, Mac Miller. Between like all those dudes, like it's crazy to think like two of them we've lost in the last
year.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and to think that he was on, bar none, the best XXL freshman list.
Yeah.
That list straight
was
fire.
stacked.
Easily, yeah.
Straight fire.
It was him, Freddie Gibbs.
Wasn't Mac on there?
No, Mac wasn't on that. He was on the next year.
Kendrick on the same one?
No, him and Mac and Kendrick were on the same one.
Okay.
But J. Cole was on that one. Big Sean was on that one. J-Rock. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to remember. Pill was on that list. Pill was on that list when we thought he was going to be something.
Yeah.
Y'all mean, man. Why are y'all like this?
Shout out to Pill, man. He helped make
P.I.L.L.
Yeah, P.I.L.L., man. He made Volume 1 dope as hell.
He really did.
He was good for his time.
That nigga really just poured all his juice in the what was it called?
Self-Made?
Yeah.
Self-Made Volume 1?
Self-Made Volume
Cool.
1. He poured his all into that and didn't get much return on it, unfortunately.
It'd be like that. But who else?
Okay, Nipsey Hussle, OJ the Juice Man,
Hey.
Wiz Khalifa, Pill, J. Cole, Freddie Gibbs, J-Rock, Fayshawn, and Donis.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that man's name since 2011.
To be honest, I've never heard of Donis.
Yeah.
Not a day in my life.
He was on this song Batman Flow with B.O.B.
Nope.
You don't remember that?
I don't know.
That's not ringing a bell?
Nah.
Off of,
Oh, and not to mention Big Sean, like you said. So
yeah.
I've never heard that song a day
You've
in my
never
life.
heard that song?
Nope.
Wow.
What song was it?
Batman Flow by B.O.B. Wow.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
So nobody
I think
else,
I've heard it, but I don't
I
don't
nobody else
remember
in here
it.
was B.O.B. fans for like a
wasn't
hot
even-
second.
I wasn't even
Hot
in a B.O.B.
second.
like that for real.
I'm gonna say I like B.O.B., but I've never heard that song.
I mean, like literally for like 6 months, I was on a B.O.B. kick.
Fair enough. He had a hot
Yeah.
little run.
Yeah,
B.O.B. was cool.
it was before that airplane shit though. By the way,
Can you fuck with airplanes?
Yeah, because he had shooting stars at that time.
yeah, nah. Speak your mind, brother.
Hey, but B.O.B. I remember he had. I thought he was 3 Stacks at first when I first heard him.
When you first heard him,
Because the first song I heard by B.O.B. was something like down at the ground, looking at the ground. I think you a hater.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Haters
Everywhere
everywhere.
Yeah,
we go.
haters everywhere. Yeah, that's the first
That used to
one.
be that jam.
Yeah, I thought that was 3
Wasn't
Stacks.
that on like a video game or something like that?
Yeah. I think it was on one of them baseball games, wasn't it? Like back when 2K was still making baseball games.
Oh,
They
I'm
still
not
make
sure.
baseball games.
Oh,
No, they don't.
I was
They
gonna say
don't
I was like,
make them?
that was like the last one was
They
like
still-
2K15.
2K13, I'm pretty sure.
Shit.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, because bro, you remember they had to use cheap marketing tactics. They was like, if you can throw a perfect game, we'll give you $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no one could ever throw a
and it
perfect
was
game.
impossible to throw a perfect game on that
Man.
game.
Shit, but just getting back to Nipsey, bro. Like, one of the things that's crazy is he was just starting to not come into his own as an artist, but he was like, I think he was really just about to hit his stride.
Yeah, like I feel like he was right there at the point of thoroughly establishing himself as a legend in the game. Not just a player, but a legend in the game. And Victory Lap definitely did something to help his case. And it's just sad because like how good Victory Lap was and, kind of left us all wanting more.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the last single he gave us was Fuego.
Yeah. Racks in the middle.
So it was hitting a little different, bro.
Bro, on me. Shout out Rowdy Rich.
For real. And Hit Boy for the beat.
Yes. Because when I hear Racks in the middle, man, it's like that was the song that he just knew he needed to make in case he wasn't going to be here no more.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds so eerie when you play it back.
Yeah, like he had a premonition.
Yeah, and like, have you looked at the video? And aren't they like all dressed in white? Everybody's like
for the
in
most
white.
part, he's dressed in white. Like,
Then it's like you see kind of the fruits of his labors as far as what money brought him. You know, you got the private jets, all the cars lined up. He got all his homies out there. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's just like, damn, like it was like a moment of look what the fuck I did. Like, look what all I got. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I know he didn't want to die. Obviously, he probably didn't know he was gonna die, but that is just so eerie. It's so
Right. It kind of make you believe that some people just have, for lack of a better phrase, I don't know, it's called like a sixth sense almost.
Yeah.
Like he knew it. Like he knew his time was extremely limited.
yeah, just like Pac, just like Biggie.
Exactly, And then what he tweeted like literally hours before his death, saying it's a blessing to have powerful enemies. Like, what would make you tweet that and then
Boy,
you just happen to die hours later? It's eerie, man. But just
that's crazy. I didn't know about the tweet.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's what kind of like messed me up the most is like, being on Twitter and everybody's live tweeting it, trying to get as much information out as possible, sometimes misinformation.
yeah.
And it was just a whirlwind when it actually happened, But just to not limit the man just to the music, what the man was doing in not only just his community, but what he was planning on doing in inner cities across America with the Too Big to Fail STEM program that he's trying to install in inner city schools. That's saying something, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier to build strong people than it is to fix broken people. You know what I'm saying?
Those are just straight facts. Right?
Yeah. And just the fact that like he took the responsibility to do it. Because he kind of figured, if he wasn't going to do it, who else was?
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I mean, Nipsey Hussle is the American dream, if you ask me. Like, that's what better than to make a success of yourself and then help your own community.
Exactly.
The people that you were around, that the community that raised you up, like to what you are, made you the person that you are. That's the American dream.
Especially as like a forgotten demographic in America as an ex-convict. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I kind of like feel like that gets swept a little bit. Like
Yep.
this is an ex-con doing all this good work. He gave himself a second chance in America, even when it wasn't exactly handed to him.
Yep.
Exactly.
And to further Papa Schroeder's point, as for him being the American dream, because I think a lot of people would try to dispute that fact, like, oh, look at his past, da 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 da. But it's like that's what America was founded on.
Exactly.
Was crime.
Yeah.
That's all you hear about is mob stories and.
Yep. We love the bad guy.
Yeah, even before that, you talking about the slaves and everything like that. So,
And I mean, how like most people came over. You was either owed somebody money or you was a felon yourself.
Right.
Coming over. So
I mean, he was definitely the American dream. Whether was doing by any means, he was gonna do whatever it took to survive. And from that, he grasped understanding and knowledge and knew that, hey, I got to do something for my people, so we're not in these desperate situations to where they don't have to go steal or go kill or do all these extreme things in the name of survival.
and even just like how he moved, he was so smart with everything he did. Like everything was calculated.
Exactly. Yeah, like there wasn't a lot left to chance. Like he didn't leave it to, him being possibly lucky. Like his is a model of hard work and determination. You know what I'm saying?
What was the mixtape he had? Was it for $100 or
One for 100 and one for
For
1,000.
$1,000.
What's the one Hov bought?
Crenshaw. Crenshaw was the one he sold for $100 on his Proud to Pay program.
Yep.
And Hov bought
100 copies.
100 copies?
Yep.
Bruh, when I heard that Nipsey Hussle was selling a $100 tape, bro, I thought he was the craziest dude in the world.
Exactly.
I wasn't hating, but I was just like,
That's crazy.
how you...
That's what everybody thought initially.
Yeah,
right?
because-
I mean, how could you think that was... I mean...
And especially to that average fan. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? Every man was...
Until you bumped it and listened to it. And then you was like, this is worth
And then you
$100.
thought about the program that came with it, because then you got
Yeah.
like a little golden raffle that like he was going to have a show in LA that you was personally invited to just for purchasing, this $100 mixtape. And then it got even crazier with $1,000 mixtape.
Yeah.
And just to think about like all the different raffles he did and what
What was the one for 1,000?
Mailbox money.
Okay, yeah, that's what I
Mailbox
thought,
money.
yeah.
And then he recently, 2, maybe 3 months ago, just had a contest on his Instagram. Basically, like whoever like reposted this picture and bought a All Money In shirt, you was entered in to win an All Money In chain, a $25,000 chain.
That's crazy.
That's how you promo shit.
Yeah.
And like he did it with no outside help. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the fact that he owned his masters, he owned his royalties. You know what I'm saying? Like he was his
Exactly.
own man. Like
That's exactly why I said he is the fucking American
exactly,
dream.
because like you see, why we hold Baby in high esteem, while we hold Master P in high esteem, like they was their own man in the music industry. When we know that it's nothing but a bunch of pimps and crooks.
Yeah. And honestly, owning your masters and all that stuff, like people might sneeze at it, but it's a big feat. Because I don't know if anybody watched the Sam Cooke documentary on Netflix, but he essentially they basically alluded to the fact that he got killed because he was owning his masters, wanted to own things, and he was basically, for lack of a better phrase, just spearheading a movement for black people to have bigger parts of ownership in music. And nobody wanted any parts of that at that time.
And like you were saying, like, and the worst part is it's a scary trend that like most artists we see that own their masters and royalties, there's always something unfortunate happening to them.
Speak on it, bro.
Yeah,
Let's
that
go.
shit's taboo.
Every time.
That shit's taboo in
Yeah.
music.
And I won't
To own your own shit.
exactly, because and it seems like it's mainly prevalent against black artists. Every time I see a black artist that owns their masters or royalties, there's something unfortunate. Whether it was Michael Jackson, whether it was Prince, whether it was like Master P, he happened to go bankrupt, even though that might have been to some poor business decisions on his part. And like 21 Savage, as soon as he announced he owned his royalties and masters,
They
tried to say he was an
Yeah.
illegal immigrant. You know, the only one I've seen that says he owns his masters and royalties and nothing's bad happened to him is 2 Chainz. That's the only one I've seen so far, and that could be true. I have not dug into it enough, but
I mean, who else has really owned their own royalties?
Did you already say Prince?
yes.
Oh, you already
yes,
okay.
yeah.
I think 2 Chainz gets because he's underrated. That's why I know.
Even then,
I'm just saying that's why
that's
I
still
know
a
when no one
valuable
says
catalog
anything to
though,
him.
because he had some big singles, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had Riot, he had Birthday Song. He's had some, you know, some significant hits that I would want a piece of it.
Right.
If I was a label.
That's true.
But
That's true.
who else has really owned their own royalties? I mean, I don't know.
No,
for
it's
sure.
it's a small list. That's the whole
Right,
thing.
right.
For an artist to own their royalties and masters. Cuz like you never hear about stuff like this with Taylor Swift. And she owns her royalties.
Oh, she does.
She does.
Okay.
That's why she's worth like 125 mil.
Hey,
But the thing is, she has a lot of bigger corporations backing her too.
Plus her father was, if I'm not mistaken, actually like a VP of a record
Oh,
company.
wow.
Yeah. So, you know how they try to, paint the grassroots picture for her? Yeah. It's a bit of a facade, you know what I'm saying? But that's not to disparage her because she still got their own, sheer hard work at that point. You know what I'm saying? You can be given opportunities, but what you going to do to maximize it?
that's true.
And, I guess it's fitting that it starts raining when we have to talk about the murder of Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
So I guess, just to get into it, where were you guys at and how did you guys react to the news?
I have to say I was at home scrolling through Facebook. I happened to see it. I was like, no way. So I had to Google it. And when I Googled it, I was like, man, that's some messed up stuff, dog.
Real shit.
So that's truly messed up.
Same. I was at home and, you get an update like that and just like, the internet is always trying to kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, this is a terrible joke. And then, you just keep saying, pray for Nipsey Hussle, pray for Nipsey Hussle. And then, different things, like different details about the event leak. And, you're trying to get to the bottom of it. You're trying to do your due diligence and whatnot. And then, an hour later, you get the news, Nipsey Hussle was passed away due to, gunshot wounds. And you don't want to believe it. And every major news outlet is covering. People close to him or, that was there at the event is, saying it's true. And you just kind of get stuck in this state of disbelief. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, like, you don't want to believe it happened.
Definitely.
A slight delusion, you know what I'm saying? The worst part is that, like, in my life, I've dealt with, death and whatnot. And, like, I didn't know how to take it at first. I was just like, wow, all right, so, he's dead. And then it didn't really click until, like, 2 days later, and you realize that the man is actually gone. There's no way to get
Any new music from him, no nothing from him.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no new way he can, try to speak life into your life. You know what I'm saying? Speak good energy on you, and that was a tough pill to swallow. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully, KC came out on the 5th and had a little balloon release memorial for the man. And I really wish people could get together like that more often. You know what I'm saying? Because it was peaceful. We all got there and in union of one singular idea, you know what I'm saying, in remembrance of this man and what he stood for. And it was just beautiful to see all these people of different race, creeds, colors, just all in one area with one idea.
And even if it's like multiple ideas, man, we should be able to get together in unity more often. Like, it shouldn't have to take somebody dying.
That's very true.
Damn right.
Why gotta
Just for a conversation.
Why it gotta take somebody dying for all these gangs to get together, man? I understand the deep-seated hate and the beef that goes on between the gangs, but if you look at why gangs were, I guess, created in the first place, it was to protect the communities. So that's a bigger subject for a different day, but
Yeah, man.
it's just sad that that's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say when I found out about Nip, just like everybody else, scrolling through Twitter, and I seen a figure land on the ground in a video. I didn't think anything of it more than people was trying to do April Fool's jokes. Because I think it was either the day before or the day of.
Yeah, I think it was the day after. I think it was like right after.
The day after.
Yeah, I think it was the second.
It was the 31st, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Yeah, the 31st.
Oh,
31st.
Yeah, so the day before.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, they playing too much, bro. Like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on? Then an hour, like you said, an hour or two later, it's just like,
You get that terrible news, man.
yeah, you get the terrible news, and it's, wow. And I don't know, for me, it's just like, you know, like we already said on a previous couple episodes, like, you know, as far as me mourning a family member, and it's just like, this dude is a bigger figure and beloved by so many people, and it's just like, and like we talked about how monumental he is in the communities, and when you think about those things, it just hits you different when you're thinking about the loss, because you're thinking about a lot of momentum probably being hindered in the communities now.
Yeah.
You thinking,
Yeah,
maybe.
not to mention the day before he was supposed to meet with the police out there for gang violence and stuff.
On trying to quell gang violence in those communities.
And a lot of people said they were going to step up and kind of fill that gap when he's gone, but at the same time, it's like he was going to be the face.
Yeah.
Right? He was going to be the mediator between the two.
He was the conductor.
That was going to be the, you know what I'm saying? It's just a different look with somebody else.
Exactly.
It's not going to be as respected either.
Exactly, because, you know, he doesn't have the same rapport with those people may not have the same rapport with those people that he was going to speak with.
Exactly.
And also, now that you say that he was going to speak with, you know, the chief of police in L.A., the fact that the chief of police was in disbelief, you know, he had to ask at least like 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, nah, y'all talking about a different one, you know what I'm saying? That says something. That speaks volumes, you know what I'm saying? For him to be dabbling in both sides of the law, man, it just had, you know, you just got to respect it.
Yeah.
And then the fact that, like, you know, you never heard any, you know, funny shit on his name.
Right.
Like,
Never.
You could, like, your favorite rapper knew him. You know
All
what
the
I'm
OGs
saying?
respected him.
Respected.
Every OG respected him, bro.
Like, with that, like, that's why this one just, it hurt a little different. You know what I'm saying?
This what it felt like when people lost, when they lost Pac, man.
And that's crazy.
This had to be what it felt like.
And that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then the crazy part to me is, like, maybe so people have different ideas about Pac in retrospect, but at the time, people wasn't speaking like that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
How they are now, like, yeah, you know, well, Pac was this and this and that. Those type of opinions wasn't, you know, loud and proud back then. You know, we kind of just knew Pac as, like, you know, this strong figure, and just to be, you know, snatched away.
And what's the main thing people are saying now that you know, Nipsey died? What are they saying? They're saying Nipsey did more in the communities than Pac and da 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 da. Like, we're having a sports debate. Like, we're debating
like
LeBron
we put up
and Kobe.
stats. Yeah, like these are numbers we can debate.
These dudes got murdered, man.
Exactly. And became a statistic at the end of the day.
What's wrong with y'all?
Exactly.
And to discredit Pac's name like that, bro. Like, let's get one thing straight. Pac died at 25. What the fuck have you done by 25? I'm 25 now, and I ain't reached the fucking. I'm not even on the cusp of what I want to accomplish.
Ain't did a motherfucking thing yet.
Right.
Ain't scratched the surface. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By 25, nigga, Pac made All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
And plenty of
Diamond album.
Exactly. One of the greatest
diamond.
albums ever created.
I have to say, I was at work and scrolling through. I saw it on Instagram. I saw it on Tyron Woodley had posted it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the first thing I was in disbelief. I texted y'all first thing, like right when I saw it, I texted y'all, and
it was fucked up because, like, I didn't like I wanted to talk to people about it, but, like, I low key felt shell shocked for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really want to talk about it, and me and Brian was, you know, we was in the group chat talking to our homeboy T, and, like, none of us wanted to believe. We was like, nah, bro, it's not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because that was the first thing on my mind. Is like, that ain't real.
Exactly.
Like, it's just some.
And in front of his store. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
It's because it's a figure you never expect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For it to happen to.
It was such a, you know, unpleasant surprise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a tough pill to swallow.
It really is,
and I mean,
man.
we was just talking about it an episode or two ago. Just, I mean, death is It's a weird thing, you know?
Yeah.
And when you just lose somebody so quick, like...
Exactly.
Like, he just got gunned down, like, boom, out of nowhere. I mean...
It's
when it's an unexpected, it's difficult to deal with. And difficult to comprehend, because, like...
Exactly.
That man was just here yesterday. They had just shared a video I saw on Twitter of him cheering on Texas Tech.
Yeah.
You know, just like, what, the day before. And it's like, the next day, boom.
'Cause death
Gone.
is what I like to call naturally unnatural. You know what I'm saying? You know it's gonna happen. It comes for its all, but you never expect it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know, like, unless you are expecting it and like you know it's gonna happen, because I've experienced death like that. I've experienced death like instant death that you don't know is coming. Like, that is a different. It's a different feeling.
Shit, even when you get to prepare for it,
I
know
mean,
what I'm saying? You got a sick family member, and you still don't know the exact day they gonna go. You know,
that's totally true.
You can somewhat prep yourself, but you still not ready.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, either way, it's gonna be something really.
It's a gut check.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, exactly.
Every time.
It makes you really think about your own mortality and really, what am I doing here? Like, look at all the things. Nipsey was 33 years old. Like you just said, we're 25. Like, what am I about to do with my life?
Exactly,
you know what I'm
bro.
saying? Like,
that's only 8 years away. Not even
exactly.
A full 10. That's not a full decade.
Exactly. So it makes you really, look in the mirror too a little bit, which I think at the end of the day is a good thing. But
also,
death is a hard thing to process.
The one thing though I do appreciate about death is that it magnifies a lot of those people's mantras or words to live by.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Constant progression. You know what I'm saying? So instead of getting all down and out about it,
exactly,
live by what he was trying to tell us while he was here. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. And don't get distracted.
Exactly.
Right.
Arguing about who's more influential
right,
between him and Pop, that's not doing nothing.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and how, I don't know the word necessarily for it, but how, I guess, crazy is it that the community he worked for, he ultimately died right on the corner of that community, bro. In front of everything he worked for, in front of that store, gunned down by the person that he was basically trying to help. Not specifically, but in general, like,
yeah, they kind of represent that face of that community.
I think that's the hardest part about all of it, really. Honestly, I mean, just him dying right there, like.
The worst part is it's strangely poetic. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the weird part about it. In a twisted way, it's poetic. You know what I'm saying?
It's like Shakespearean, bro.
Yeah, exactly, because I was like, a place where he did dirt and tried to fix said dirt is where he ultimately passed. You know what I'm saying? And like you could try to say maybe his past caught up to him, such and such, but just in a way like that, you know what I'm saying? While he was on the up and up, it. Like my boy was saying, it's Shakespearean. Like, you would have to write something like this in a book.
So with that being said, do you guys think that further supports that rappers or anybody, you shouldn't go back to your hood?
Nope.
When you get successful or anything like that?
Nope. I don't think that should further discourage rappers from doing work in their community. I think it's honestly, at this point, I just think they should take further precautions in, securing themselves at this point, because obviously we know, even at your own storefront, nothing's off limits for these, lack of a better word, these demons out here trying to take you up out of here.
Yeah.
So
you say just move different? Yeah. You got to move?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you got to move with a little more precaution, don't be afraid to still put that work in your community and, make it a better place.
I totally agree with you.
I say, what Ray's saying, the precaution thing is to fix your circle before you get to the height of what you are.
Even then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can fix your circle all you want. These demons will figure out a way to get in there and penetrate it. So I figure just take any proper precaution you need to take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, you should want to be able to do that. You should want to be able to come back to your own community and do something, make a difference, change it. You lived through that. You know the struggle that comes from, that path of where you're from, wherever you may be from. Like, so go and make it a little bit better for the next kid that comes up.
Absolutely.
Through the same schools you came through, the same, whatever,
I completely agree with you guys. Completely agree. So what do you guys think his legacy will be? Whether it be musically or just anything in the community, what's his legacy?
At this point, I think he's going to go down like Pac-esque. Because, like, you know how Pac was like an established figure in the game, and that instantly elevated him into a lot of people's top fives, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to see a lot of, you know, top tens for him and, you know, whatnot. Mm-hmm. And it's not like it's, you know, completely biased or something. Because the man had a strong catalog, you know what I'm saying? So you'll start seeing a lot more considerations for him being in, you know, people's top tens. Shit, some motherfuckers might, you know, get caught up in the, you know, spur of the moment and start putting them in their top fives.
Yeah. And not to mention something I saw about, you know, like you were talking about earlier, with, you know, his death, the more people are listening to him, you know, like just his name is I wouldn't say growing, but, you know, it's like it's trending. That's the word we use for everything, right? And all of that is going back to him because, you know, he owns his own shit. Like, I think that's awesome.
Right.
That, you know.
And the fact you don't really have to worry about his family, you know, being taken care of.
Exactly.
Even though, you know, shout out to Jay-Z for putting up that trust fund for his family.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
That's real.
Like, I have to agree with Ray. The music-wise, people would boost him up, top 10. Maybe even close to top 5. Mm-hmm. But, like, on the hood-wise, all depends. Because it depends if someone picks up the baton and keeps what he had going. Because if no one does, the hood's just going to revert back to what it knows.
And that would be the saddest thing.
Well, and not to mention, you know, he died in a violent way. You know, that's going to bring out more violence.
Yeah.
Hopefully not down the line. Like, you know, right now, at least that's how it seems right now. It's going to be fine. Because, you know, what was it? Just today, there was a, you know, big gang summit, and they was, you know, all in remembrance of Nipsey, and you had, you know, warring factions, you know, there's, you know, 20 years of bad blood between the two come together just in remembrance of this man, just, you know, the power that this man had.
But I would have to say you still have to give it like a month or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like right now it seems like it's going to be all good, but we'll see in the future, you know what I'm saying, down the line, if what this man was saying and was speaking on and was trying to put forward will stay. You know what I'm saying? Will these people honor it?
Yeah, and you can only hope for that.
Yeah.
And to me, in my opinion, I don't think it will. The only reason I say that is because no one is as given the effort that he has when he was alive with him.
Yeah, nobody had the. I won't say nobody, but there wasn't many people who had the platform he had that was pushing what he was pushing.
Yeah, that's what,
you know what I'm saying? Because there's plenty of dudes there that's, you know, trying to put this work in, but they don't have the exact platform that he has. There's a couple dudes that, you know, could step forward and do a little more, but I don't know. You know, everybody's their own person and do it in their own way.
It's the want to. That's what people's not getting. It's the want.
Right, and at the same time, if I'm not out here in my community trying to do the same thing, who am I to try to criticize some of these dudes for not utilizing their platform to do said things? You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people might take what you just said harshly. They probably be like, bro, what is he talking about? You disrespecting. But it's the truth, though. In a sense, like, not the truth that is fact, but in a sense that I see where you're coming from. Because I think of it like this. You're basically saying, look, man, they killed Malcolm, they killed Martin, they killed, you know what I'm saying?
Pac, Biggie.
Pac, yeah. And we still reverted back to where we were, in a sense. They came and made things better, but they can only do so much.
For a period of time.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, you know, lasting improvement.
So it's just like, we know Nipsey's great. We know, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing what Meezy's thinking or line of thinking is, but we love Nipsey. We know he's great. We know he was great in the community, but at the end of the day, if they can kill Malcolm, Martin, Pac, Big, all these other countless figures that bestowed hope upon our communities, who's to say that when they kill Nipsey that our communities won't go back to how they were?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it goes back to to black people's plight. It's just hopeless, man.
Do any of you guys think anything like conspiracy wise?
No. I don't think conspiracy wise.
Nothing definitive when it comes to the conspiracy, but I will say that there's something that's not hitting me right with it.
There's
I agree.
A lot of the dots are connecting in a, you know, traditional, like, you know, conventional sense. So I'll wait for more details to come out before I make a full, judgment on it, whether I think it's a conspiracy or not, because, everybody got caught up in the sensationalism, like, oh, he was talking about Dr. Sebi and such and such. And that's the main thing that irritated me the most is the fact that people was talking about it was conspiracy that he got killed for talking about Dr. Sebi. Do not take their health seriously. That's annoying.
Somebody said y'all been talking about Dr. Sebi all weekend.
And ain't drank no water.
Ain't drank no water. Woke up eating
food.
bacon, eggs.
Exactly.
Damn.
Eating trash
in the morning.
food, man. Come on.
Shit crazy.
Stop the madness.
Well, what you were saying about top 10 and stuff, what would you guys say is his best piece of work versus like your favorite?
His best piece of work, in my opinion.
What do you mean versus our favorite? Like our favorite album?
Well, yeah, like his best album or best project compared to what is your favorite, because the best might not be your favorite always. You know what I mean?
Right. Personally, I think his best piece of work would probably be Slauson Boy 2, in my opinion. But my favorite piece of work has got to be The Marathon Continues. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
See, I think his best piece of work was Marathon Continues. And my favorite album is probably Crenshaw.
I don't know. He was really unpolished on The Marathon Continues, to me. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes that album to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I just like the balance of it. How it all flowed.
So what about you, Randy?
I say my favorite, and I think his best is Victory Lap, honestly. But I just like the polished sound. I like the instrumentation that he used.
Right.
And I like the direction that he was heading in.
Right. When you get something executively produced by Diddy, you know what I'm saying? It's going to come out clean.
I agree with you. I think that's his best piece of work.
I think that's his best.
The Victory Lap. I don't know. The Marathon Continues. And Victory Lap, because I really like Victory Lap.
Oh, no. It's not to say that I didn't enjoy it or anything. He actually has, two of my favorite verses by him. But there's a few songs on there that I wasn't, the biggest fan of. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of holds it back from being my favorite album by him, or to me, his best album.
Right.
So what was your favorite song?
Favorite song? That's tough. It's either Hustle and Motivate or Keys to the City 2.
Damn, I was going to say the exact same thing.
You think Keys to the City 2 is better than 1?
It hit a little different, bro.
Really?
It hit a little different.
I wouldn't say that it's better, but...
Keys to City 1.
See, everybody, because I feel like a lot of nostalgia gets caught up in Keys to the City.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell,
Right.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I can't put one or the other above. I just kind of put them both kind of the same, because that nostalgia, like that hit, when that comes on, that just makes me think of like all of us kicking it, riding, listening to that shit.
Being in our teens, no job or minimal responsibilities.
No care in the world, man.
No care in the world.
But as an adult and as a grown man, that Keys to the City verse just hits me a little harder when he says, busted knuckles, still I'm swinging fierce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
it's definitely way more content.
You know what I'm saying?
In 2.
You should know.
Number 1 was kind of like.
It
was young man
right,
shit.
Exactly.
Like, it was a lot
free. It was flowing.
Yeah.
And that's something also, like, I feel like definitely, like, with us, like, when we really started listening to, like all the guys that I was mentioning before, like, you kind of feel like you grew up with these people,
Yeah.
You feel the progression. You see the progression,
because they definitely had a role in playing in who we are as men now. You know what
absolutely.
I'm saying? They helped develop us. You know what I'm saying? Whether, people want to admit it or not, you are influenced by the music you listen to. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we happen to put good music in front of us.
Exactly.
I'll say my favorite song, obviously Keys to the City, but one that's making a strong push for 1, that Blue Laces 2, bruh.
Yeah.
That last verse, bruh.
Yeah.
Nah, that last verse hit so hard, bro. Because
he really painted a picture.
Man.
Like, you can see it. Like you can see it through your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just off of words.
And at the end of the day, like, for me personally, that is one of my, like, favorite traits, like, of an artist. Like, if you can paint me a picture and I can see what you're rapping, like, that's a different level to me,
Like,
if you can really paint a picture. Yeah,
he was like, the bitch was freaking out, but he had to switch
me seats. I'm driving now.
Yeah.
police helicopter flying. That like you felt all of it. You seen it. Like you kind of felt the urgency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He
Bro, I
conveyed it
he
well.
was dying, man.
And like it was really like it was like watching like one of those old LA based movies. You know what I'm saying? Like you was watching South Central or Menace to Society or something like that. Like you kind of seen like a Kane-esque character getting shot and just sitting holding on to life and his boy trying to keep him alive.
The previous verse, what'd he say? They killed Dr. Sebi. He was teaching health.
I fuck with Rick Ross because he teaching wealth.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like shout out Nip, boy. Blue Laces, man. The instrumentation. It was just something perfect about it. The pitch of his voice, the way the instrumentation didn't overbear.
That's something else about Nipsey, I think. He sound different. Like, when you hear Nipsey, I feel like you can tell, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he's his own person.
Yeah, he has a distinct sound to him.
And to build off of that, it's kind of like he took the previous formula for a successful West Coast artist and build it on it, you know what I'm saying? And like refined it, you know what I'm saying? Because when you think of the New West, you know what I'm saying? Like you think of him, you think of Kendrick, you think of J-Rock, like, these are the new faces of the West. And they're helped reshaping an already built sound.
Yeah.
And he just fit that mold so perfectly.
And not to mention, like, kind of how you was talking poetic, if you kind of look like you were saying people comparing him and Pac, like, if you look at like kind of like Victory Lap compared to All Eyes on Me, like that was right before Pac died, right before Nip died, and like really like just his most polished piece of work that was just.
Oh, the crazy thing about it is too, they both died before they got so big that people just started hating on them unnecessarily.
Yeah,
to the
peak
of their careers.
Yeah,
like right before they reached that apex point.
And even down to the album cover of both of those,
man,
the black and red.
Yeah, that's
it's
eerie.
It's interesting.
Very. And then kind of go back to Racks in the Middle. It's kind of weird because how you 30 something and die after all them years of banging like
my god,
like that,
right?
Oh my god,
what possessed them to say that? You know what I'm saying?
I think it was Kenny. Shout out Kenny Codeine. I think seeing him on Facebook posted that quote because I hadn't heard that song yet, and when I seen him post that, I was just like, "That's a trippy quote."
Right. Right.
All right, moving on from the somber news of Nipsey Hussle's passing, we got a little bit of sports news this week. Not really too much from the NFL. We got a little bit from the UFC 236 coming up next weekend, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs have traded Eric Murray for Emmanuel Ogbah.
Yes,
right. I think this is a perfect move for us. Moving into Steve Spagnuolo's defense, Emmanuel Ogbah is going to bring an awesome flair to that defensive line. I think, and I think that defensive line is exactly what Spagnuolo looks for. Is he wants to get a 4-man rush that gets to the quarterback and ease up on that secondary a little bit. That's something Kansas City has had trouble with last season, and moving from the 3-4 to the 4-3. I mean, we had to move some things around, and I think this is really the perfect move now to have him and Okafor on each side, and then probably Xavier Williams and Chris Jones in the middle. I think the defensive line is going to be really stacked for 2019.
And on a more important note, Eric Murray's off the team.
Yeah, if only it was Sorensen.
I knew he was going to do it. Let it go.
No, bro, it's been too fucking long. Why is he on the team?
That dude is straight butt. He's been butt for years.
Thank
I don't know
you.
why he's on that team.
Thank you.
Sorensen is trash. Oh my god.
Y'all wild disrespect me.
He is trash. Any day of the week, he's garbage.
Any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Except Sunday.
Hey, man.
He's especially garbage on Sundays.
He got a pick in that game for being out of place. That's the only reason he fucking got the pick. It got tipped to him because he was out of fucking place.
That's cold as fuck. You hating. Stop it.
I might be.
Get the hate about your heart.
But speaking on that Chiefs defensive line, it's they still got to stop the run, and I still think that's a big question for them.
Yeah. I think with there being 4 guys up front, though, I think that'll help a lot with that, and especially adding Ogbah and Okafor on the other side. But it's still definitely a question. I agree with you. I mean, especially after what we saw in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. The good thing is we can't be no worse than what we were last year.
Yeah, that's totally true. I don't think there's any way we'll be as bad as we were a year ago defensively.
Yeah, last year got tragic towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Real tragic.
But, we did have that really good playoff game against the Colts.
They did. They did.
I'm just going to say it like this. Everybody gets one.
Fuck out of here.
Everybody gets one.
Nah. So, other than that in the NFL, really the only other thing noteworthy. What about the Jets uniforms? What you guys think about them?
High school, and they look trash.
I won't say they look like trash, but yeah, to say they look like high school uniforms. Like at first for a second, I thought them was like new Staley uniforms. I was like, oh wow, they got new uniforms. But yeah, no, they look a little childish.
It look like somebody ran out of budget.
Yeah,
here it is, fucking.
The amount they're paying Le'Veon Bell, yeah, they probably did run out of budget.
God damn. He did it.
I mean, I don't think they're that bad. I think they look a lot like Cleveland's uniforms, and I think that it's interesting because do you guys think we could see kind of a change in the league and see like a lot of uniforms like that, like with the big bold New York letters?
Hopefully not.
The traditional teams, no, not at all.
I don't think so either, because like the Kansas City Chiefs, we've had the same uniform since inception.
Like there's certain teams you could see changing, but like Chiefs, example, Cowboys,
Steelers,
Colts, I don't see any of them changing.
Okay, so we also have UFC 236 coming up. 2 interim title fights.
2. Count them. 2 interim title fights.
First time ever.
You know what's funny?
One of them's pretty dumb.
Which one do you think's dumb?
I think that lightweight one's pretty dumb.
The headliner,
Yes.
Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier.
They should just made that a co-main event and just made that #1 contenders fight.
But really, how much is a #1 contender spot worth, really?
Exactly, and I mean that's the same thing as the interim belt.
It's not the same thing because that's just glorifying someone that's not really the champion.
Yeah, but
we
don't know when the champion's gonna return either.
But I kind of see that, but
they expected him to come back this fall.
Yeah, I mean that was the timeline for Khabib.
I mean, yeah, but
I don't mind the interim title though. Like I like the idea of an interim title because you've got somebody you can put the belt on in the meantime, and Max is already a champion.
In certain situations that makes sense, but the Khabib situation doesn't make sense.
Plus, it seems like he might be still maybe like in a negotiation with the UFC on when his fight should be booked on
Khabib.
Yeah, and who he should be fighting and so on and so forth. So I could see that could definitely bring some complications. So that's what makes the interim title make a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah, you're right, because all it does is clear it up.
Yeah, because then at that point we have an established #1 contender, and he can keep the division going if Khabib decides to hold out or what have you.
Which I doubt.
I don't know. He's played hardball with the UFC before, and now that he's champ and has leverage, he'll do it again.
Yeah,
I believe he will.
But that middleweight one makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Robert Whittaker is way too fragile.
I wouldn't say he's fragile, but the fact that he happened to have a freak accident like that happen to him, he had to have like life-saving surgery.
But
what other fights
it happens it happens too often.
What are the fights he pulled out of?
Yeah.
He's pulled off from multiple fights, and he's pushed them back. That first Yoel Romero fight, he pushed it back to a further date because he got injured.
Yeah, because that gave us the Romero.
Rockhold.
No, that's the second fight, I think, because that's what gave us Romero versus Rockhold for the interim belt.
Yeah, where he fucked up Rockhold, but he missed weight.
But I mean, other than that,
He hasn't really had a long history of
fight.
Yeah, he hasn't had a long history of it's just that one time, and the UFC they never forget on shit like that. You know what I'm saying? As much as of a "what have you done for me lately" company they don't forget shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure before they figured out the whole situation thing on the title, the next first contender, the first time he blew out his knee, didn't he?
I don't believe he did.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he blew his knee out.
He might have, because I do kind of remember
when he won the title.
When he won the interim title.
Yeah, that month.
That would have been the first Yoel fight.
Yeah, that month later he blew his knee out, and then I'm pretty sure someone else stepped in.
That's what we're talking about, though. I'm pretty sure that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. So it was only a one-time thing.
Yeah, it was the Romero Rockhold fight was made from that.
Didn't the first time when he fought Rockhold, the first time, when he got the title shot, he blew his knee out. Then Michael Bisping had to step in for him.
Yeah, that's how Michael Bisping got that short notice title fight.
Yeah, so he did pull out from a title fight. So I'm just saying.
But that was only 2 times and only once while he was champion.
Yeah, but he still has these freak injuries that keep happening to him.
No, because he would have already been the champion with the Rockhold fight, wouldn't he have?
No,
because that was later on. Yeah,
that was later on.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying these freak injuries keep piling up on him.
I mean, it's only been 2 though.
This is the third one.
But going back to that, what have you done for me lately? And the UFC doesn't forget that shit, like you were saying. I mean,
True.
But shit, I'm surprised, and that's what kind of makes me think that they'll be a little timid with Khabib. You know what I'm saying? Like they won't be as willing to work with him because he's had to pull out of multiple fights. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
The fact that they've tried to book him versus Ferguson, 5 times?
Yeah, it's 5 times.
Yeah, and
we need that fight. God damn it.
Yes, that it has to happen.
I don't ever see that fight happening.
It will. It'll happen.
It'll happen eventually.
I don't
It'll
ever
just
see
be
it
happening when we don't want it to happen.
Yeah,
you know.
I'll see someone taking the belt from Khabib or Khabib saying I'm retired before that happens.
That lightweight situation is interesting.
It's fucking muddy.
I don't. Do you like it or? Do you
I like it because it keeps the division going. If you get what I mean, it keeps the division going.
Yeah, no, and that's why I actually do like the interim situation on the lightweight side a bit more.
Yeah,
and then plus it seems like it's time for Max to step up anyway because that featherweight cut is starting to get harder and harder. You know, he's starting to settle into his full adult body. You know, and that adult weight is sitting on him.
And you know, from the pullout he had with Ortega.
Yeah, that initial pullout. Yeah, man, because he looked like Skeletor, dude.
I'll say he's gonna fluctuate for at least another 2 years between those two divisions.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't see it.
If he wins that interim title,
he's gone. I think he's going.
Yeah, I think he's going too.
I think he's going to relinquish.
I think he's going to fluctuate. He's going to fight. He's going to let them battle it out, and then he's going to go and fight the lightweight title shot. Okay. And then whoever fights that, he's going to go fight 45 at least 2 more times.
I could possibly see.
I could see him going back one more time, but
I mean, who does he even have to fight?
It's either Frankie or Jose.
Fuck no. If anything, he has a younger dude to fight in Volkanovski, Moicano. Those are dudes he should be looking at. Maybe after a rebound fight with Ortega.
Again.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to see him whoop Jose Aldo ass again. Bro.
I'm not either.
I can't see him fighting Ortega at the 45.
At 45,
least.
yeah.
Yeah, because Ortega's probably gonna come up eventually.
Yeah, I was like, he's big.
Ortega's gonna take that 45 belt before he comes up.
Well, I think so too.
Yeah, I think once he leaves that division, Ortega's just gonna basically take it over after that.
Do you think that Ortega's chances against Holloway would fare better at 55?
I don't think so.
I think he fares a bit better, but ultimately same result.
With a stronger, faster Max Holloway,
exactly.
I think Holloway finishes him.
Exactly.
That's why I said he'll fare better.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, he finished him in the first fight. But I mean, finish, TKO, not stop. Was stopped in the
fourth round.
Yeah, after the 4th round.
Yeah, he got stopped in the corner.
Yeah. So with that being said, so we've got 2 title fights and one other one that I found of kind of note.
There's actually some decent fights. Like if you kind of dig through the card, Ovin St. Pro is fighting Nikita Krylov. That's a decent fight. A fight with some flyweight. I don't know if they're flyweight or bantamweight at this point though. But Wilson Hayes.
They still have a flyweight division.
No, I know they do, but I don't know if these guys are fighting at fly or bantamweight.
Gotcha.
But Wilson Hayes is fighting Alexandre Pantoja. Boston Salmon, a dude I watched on the local scene come up. He's on there. Curtis Millender's fighting on this card.
Curtis Millender's nice.
Yeah. Andrei Sukumov is fighting on that card.
Nice. Shout out to Andrei Sukumov, like one of my IG picks one time.
Yeah, he did. Poliana Botello, the lady that took way too much damage from from Shevchenko. Yeah.
Going off of the 2 title fights, who's everybody got?
I got Holloway.
Holloway for the lightweight title.
Oh yeah.
I say Holloway finishes him in the 3rd.
Holloway
in 3.
Yeah.
I'm taking Holloway. Holloway.
No. This is the whole thing. Dustin Poirier takes way too much damage in his fights.
Yeah.
Like he always has to dig deep and then come back for a finish.
I think he'll finish him with a submission.
You think so?
I think he'll TKO Dustin Poirier.
I think so too.
No, I'm saying Holloway will finish him.
Yeah, that's what
okay.
I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think Holloway will finish with submission, either guillotine or. I think he'll just get him in too much trouble.
I see,
and Poirier is gonna shoot.
Yeah, you're right.
I see one of those slugfests start to happen, and then Holloway just taking over.
Holloway's going to
with the more precise
punches.
punches.
Oh fuck yeah, that's exactly what Holloway wants.
And this is the worst part because Poirier just he baits himself into those. Mm-hmm. It's not smart.
What about the other interim title?
That
fight?
is scary.
I have Asanya in that fight.
Adesanya?
I have Adesanya in this.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
Really? Y'all gonna disrespect Gastelum like
I'm not disrespecting him.
I don't disrespect him, but I think Adesanya has more on the striking aspect.
He
than him.
does, but
the way he moves is different. He's a different fighter.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean, I'm not trying to say.
I give Gastelum if he has an advantage on taking him down. I mean, if he gets to take him down.
The Derek Brunson fight though. That's the fight that solidified. This is different.
I feel you, but Gastelum's different, bro.
I feel you with that
how
too.
fast his hands are?
Yeah, for sure.
And Adesanya can do all this, hand shit, and
if he
try to fake him out.
If he keeps him at range. If he keeps him at range,
that's the main
Gastelum
thing.
doesn't stand a chance if he's
at range. Yeah. But I feel like he's really gonna get in that man's face, and
he's really good at closing the distance.
Yeah,
he's great at it.
Cause like the main fight I think about at how fast his hands is when he knocked out Bisping. Cause I didn't even see the punch.
Yeah, he had.
You was
stepped
looking
in and hit him with that left hand.
Boom, and like he threw like a quick 3-punch combo, and all I caught was the third punch.
You know who that knockout reminded me of?
Who?
When Kane knocked out Nogueira.
Yeah. When he hit him with that quick little flurry, that little 1, 2, 3,
and he didn't expect that shit at all.
The call Joe Rogan had on that though.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's out.
That was one of the first. I remember us going to watch that event. That was UFC 110, and that was quite a night. One other thing MMA related, I had to bring to the table. MMA On Point had a really good video this week, I think, about the level of fighters. Does the UFC have the best fighters in the world? Because now that we have seen both Eddie Alvarez and Demetrius Johnson move over to one championship, Demetrius had a hard time in his fight. He won, but he had a hard time.
Yeah, he did. And Eddie Alvarez looked out of place.
Starched.
Yeah, that man got sparked.
I say in certain divisions. Certain divisions they have better fighters, but certain divisions they don't.
I'll say collectively they have the best.
Yeah,
collectively
they have the best.
But do they have the best one in each division?
Yet to be seen.
Well, if you look at
for the most part, I'll say they do.
And the guy that Demetrius fought now still not even ranked in the world's top 15 power rankings. So
also, plus I'll say this as a preface. These are, two fighters that are a bit older.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Eddie Alvarez has been through some shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, to say Eddie Alvarez might be a bit long in the tooth, maybe a bit punch drunk, isn't out of the question to me.
That's totally true, and I think it comes back to, a lot of people are really talking about Eddie Alvarez, but I'm really more interested in the fact that Demetrius got to put to him in the stand-up in the first couple rounds of that fight.
Yeah, and that it kind of just makes me want to ask, is Demetrius still the same guy? Because you got to remember, he had that shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And that's what held off his fight with
Cejudo.
Yeah. And maybe he didn't recover the best after that. He may not be the same fighter we knew. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked off that whole fight.
Yeah.
But how many people in the UFC has pressured Demetrius with the stand-up?
This is the main thing, though. We've only seen this recently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Cejudo, even though I'm not acting like his striking is just top-notch or something like that, but he stayed in Demetrius' face. He pressured him. You know what I'm saying? Demetrius was on his bicycle, that whole fight. You know what I'm saying? He was constantly having to fight off Cejudo. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really the aggressor in majority of the fight.
Yeah.
So this is only what we've seen in recent history. You know what I'm saying? This could be due to that shoulder injury.
Yeah, but Cejudo was one of the only dudes to pressure Demetrius.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only sample size we have to go off of. That's the only data we have. And this, I don't even know the guy's name. I feel disrespectful. But the new guy, and these are the only two fights we have post torn labrum, Demetrius Johnson. And that's his second time tearing it.
I was about to say, because he has torn it before.
Yeah, so it may not be the same,
Yeah, I can't remember what fight that was, though.
The John Moraga, I think right after that one.
Yeah, I think
That's when he
you're
tore
right,
his labrum.
Because it was early in his
Yeah,
title
it was.
run.
Yeah, you know, this was when he was Fox King. You know, all his title fights was basically on Fox.
Yes.
But he was running through.
Oh no, he was dominating the division. You know what I'm saying? On the lowest, and this is the craziest part. They was putting him on the national stage and people for free, and people still wouldn't tune in.
Yeah.
Amazing. You know, watching
it is amazing, honestly.
When you-
I get to a point the thought, but at the same time, like, I mean, I don't understand because I mean, even I get he's 125 pounds. He is a small man, but
he'll still beat your ass.
he will still beat your ass. Exactly. Like
It's
my
because
point.
he wasn't finishing people like they wanted to
Yeah.
see at that point.
But at the same
Initially,
time,
yeah.
but at the
Right
same
after
time, when did GSP finish anybody? Motherfuckers love GSP.
Because GSP threw a jab and kept the jab there. Demetrius takes you down and outpoints you on the ground.
But GSP does the same thing.
The exact same.
He is a small GSP
Oh,
at the end
just
of the
because
day.
he throws a jab right before
Yeah.
he shoots for a double
certain
leg.
fights, yeah, that makes the difference.
I mean, fair enough because I mean GSP has some real knockout highlights, but
And then when you think about it, the tear he went on, because right after that Moraga fight, he just started finishing motherfuckers left and right.
Because that's what he realized he had
And
to do to
I
get the
didn't mean
money.
to say the Moraga fight. Before that, what was that? The
Benavidez?
Dotson fight.
yeah.
After the first Dotson fight, that man went crazy.
yeah.
He realized that's where the money is, the finishes.
I don't even think that. Like, he really just proved that he was better than everybody.
Right.
I'm saying that's proving
And head
you're
and
better.
shoulders above everybody.
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying that's proving you're better, but he realized if you don't finish, you don't get the money that you deserve.
I don't know. I don't wholly believe that.
To me, the UFC pays the finish.
Even when he was finishing people, they still wasn't really trying to put him on pay-per-views. They wasn't
Right.
really trying to give him champion money.
Or performance bonuses.
Yeah. And
And the performance bonuses are so subjective.
and the fact that this man had his own submission named after him. I have yet to see somebody pull that else off. This man threw a man in the air for a takedown.
And caught the armbar.
The almighty whiz bar. Cold. let me step off this soapbox for a second. No.
All right, you guys. Now we about to get into a good old segment of true or false.
Pew 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 pew.
So the first one we got today, NBA. James Harden is the NBA MVP. True or false?
I have to say that's a true statement, and I only say that because he's carried his team when they didn't have anybody to help support him at the beginning of the season. Carried them to a decent record. Then when they got back, they flourished.
I say true as well.
Why is that, Levi?
No, I don't watch basketball.
See,
I just say true off what I heard. How many games
I
did
ain't
he
watched
have?
enough of the season, so
How many games did he have over? What was it,
Neutral.
35 points?
yeah, wasn't it like 10 games straight or some shit?
I think it was a little bit more than that.
It was
think it
more
was
than
true.
that. I think it was 30-something games.
What the fuck?
He was up there with.
Yeah.
He was like second to Wilt.
So I'm gonna have to go with true just off
Hey,
of that.
speaking of Wilt, that nigga is an urban legend.
Most
That's
definitely.
Catcher Freeman.
Yeah.
So, just thought I'd throw that out there real quick.
There's nothing wrong with being Catcher Freeman.
Everything's wrong with that, but whatever. But so Randy, what do you think?
I definitely think that Giannis is the MVP.
Why do you say that?
I say that because even though James Harden is putting up his 36 points a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, what have you, you still got Giannis in the Eastern Conference putting up 27, 12 and a half rebounds, and nearly 6 assists. Not only that, they have the best record in the NBA. Not just in the Eastern Conference, the NBA.
The Bucks?
The Bucks
Wow.
have the best record in the NBA.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And I just think that Giannis has been more consistent wire to wire. I think the Houston Rockets kind of got started in the season fairly slow. And it took them about 20 games in the season to get rolling, whereas Giannis and the Bucks been putting the pressure on the NBA's neck throughout the whole season. So,
But wouldn't you say because of the Rockets is because of their injuries
nope.
early in the season?
I mean, Capella and Paul have been out, but even Capella, I think Capella's up until this point has played 65 games, which is fairly respectable in the 82-game season. And then Chris Paul, I mean, with him, you have to assume he's going to get injured all the time. Every season anyway. So, and he still played a respectable 56 up until this point. His stats are down, but I mean, all in all, I think the teams are pretty balanced. I think the teams are pretty balanced. One of the main things that people will argue is that the Rockets don't have a team, that James Harden doesn't have a supporting cast, which I think is pretty much bullshit.
It is BS.
I think it's bullshit because even though James Harden is putting up a godly 36 points a game, he still has Chris Paul, he still has Eric Gordon, he still has Clint Capella, and you have Kenneth Faried coming off the bench giving you 13 points a game. Not to mention Chris Paul and Eric Gordon are scoring 16 points a game. So I definitely got Giannis on that one.
So we got 2 trues, 1 false. Was it
Neutral.
neutral?
So yeah, false.
2
false.
trues, 1 false.
It's understandable.
No, me.
Oh,
no,
okay.
me.
I was like,
No, yeah, you got false.
Oh, okay, cool.
And me and Meezy got true.
All right, now we're gonna get into another debate, rather, and this one is Major League Baseball money is better than NFL money. True or false?
False. It takes you way too long to get that major league money, MLB money, and then even then, you probably won't get those contracts we talk about for days. You won't get the Bryce Harper. You won't get the Giancarlo. You know what I'm saying? Where you could basically have a small country type money.
That's top of the food chain.
Like you're literally a top 15, top 20 player in the league.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the NFL, it's a bit more. It's a bit smaller, but the money's a bit more consistent too. And there's also time for multiple contracts.
Because your number 1 pick comes out about $20 million guaranteed money.
Yep.
So if you take that, let's put this into for Kyler Murray, because that's the one that's really been talked about recently. Is it worth to wait? Who knows how long? Because you have to have 6 years of MLB service in the major leagues. That does not count AA, AAA, single A ball, anywhere.
21.
So, okay, yeah, he's 21 years old. Let's say it takes him 2 years to get to the show, and he's playing with Oakland. And then now he's got 6 years to play compared to if he gets that number 1 overall pick, you got $20 million in your pocket walking out of the draft.
Instantly.
But at the same time, what if in 8 years you have a 10-year, $300 million contract? We got $300 million compared to $20 million. Because what if you fizzle out? What if you're a bust? What if you don't even get another contract after your rookie deal?
So are we talking about in general or?
We're talking about in general, yeah. In general, I'm just putting it in with Kyler Murray because he's been the conversation started with this. Because you look at Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Mike Trout, who just got paid in a extension from the Angels. They're all making roughly $300 million for about 10 years of service. Albert Pujols, that's the deal he got. I know Alex Rodriguez had a similar deal. I think even more than $300 million. I think it was like 310, somewhere around that range. And not to mention he also got another deal with I want to say the Rangers that was worth about $280 million.
Yeah.
So I mean that's 2 different deals, and that's $500 million worth of money on the table for and granted that's Alex Rodriguez, but that's top of the top.
So what about the guys in the NFL that's not the top guys?
You're still getting at least a $20-30 million contract if you're above average.
Well, I was about to say, and if you're talking about quarterback money,
what if you're not though? What if you're not above average?
If you're below average,
what if you're just a runner, the average player?
He's saying, what if you're like a 4th or 5th round pick?
But if you're
that's where it gets a little murky.
Yeah, it does
because we're talking about the good players.
What if you're lower level MLB?
In general, I mean, in general, we're talking about the average player.
But what if you're lower level MLB as well? I mean, you could be making $30,000 a year, literally playing baseball.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is basically what the lower level NFL players.
And we know at least practice squads. I was like, practice squad. They're making more than that. They're making $250K.
Yeah.
Like that's they are in the 6 figures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're making an average American salary playing AA ball.
Yeah, they do have to get side
a lot of
jobs.
them got part-time jobs, bro. So
David Price at one point, he almost gave up on baseball just for the simple fact that he's going from ratty ass motel to ratty ass motel in nowhere America to make a couple bucks to play a ball game. He said he'd almost rather work at Walmart.
So I'd rather take that guaranteed $20 million.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go
if you're
false.
upper echelon though.
Yeah,
I mean, but we know he's going in the first round regardless.
But that's him though.
Yeah, he's
talking about in general.
I'm
If
just
we're
saying.
talking about in general, though, I would still rather be a low level NFL player. The risk is the whole thing, because if you're a top level player, you can make that insane amount of money. But if you're a lower level player, you're gonna make more money in the NFL as a lower level player than you're gonna make in Major League Baseball as a lower level player.
I think MLB money is better. I think it's true.
Okay.
MLB money is better simply because in the NFL, or in the MLB rather, the average career in the MLB spans 5.5 years, right? NFL, you only get 3.3 years. That's the average lifespan in the NFL.
That's also true, but do you know how much time is spent in like the farm system in the MLB?
Not even to mention 5.5 years. You said is the stat on that. It takes you 6 years to become a free agent in baseball.
6 years.
So the average person
Career.
doesn't even see an actual contract. You go for the first 2 years, your club, they decide how much money you make. In the next 4 years, you have the court system of arbitration to tell you how much you're going to make. So, I mean, you could be making millions of dollars through arbitration because the courts could, whoever's hearing your case for
they
arbitration,
value for that.
and they could say, okay, this dude's worth $10 million. What the fuck are you guys trying to pay him, $1 million for this season? But at the same time, you could also have it the opposite way around. And then you still have, that's 4 more years to really be able to take control of your own career. Unless literally no team in the league wants you, and then you can become a free agent. But then what kind of money are you really going to be making then?
But also, and then on the flip side of that too, after your rookie deal, you still have to deal with basically arbitration, because then they can just franchise tag you or transition tag you for the next 2 to 3 years.
You're talking about with the NFL?
Yeah, with the NFL.
Yeah, but you're making...
Yeah, you
still
are.
a million.
Yeah, you're still making.
You're
15.
making an average of the top. What is that? 15, 25, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, something like that. Top 25.
Yeah, they're taking an average of the top 25 at your position, and that's what you're getting compared to you could be making $90,000.
Yeah.
You could be making $30,000 playing in AA. So,
but I think it's also a matter of how much you value injuries.
yeah.
Also, because
head trauma's not there, and I think baseball players in general are going to be a lot more fresh.
Yeah, potential
6
of
years down the
longevity.
road.
Yeah, there's the potential of longevity, but that's the main thing with MLB is that I've noticed is that it's all potential. You know what I'm saying?
It is all potential.
Because then you're talking about potential of longevity, potential of you making more money, potential of you being the better player. You know what I'm saying? So to me,
which is that in NFL also?
That too.
Yeah.
But those type of variables, I'd rather take my chances more so on an NFL spot.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to say false for sure. I think NFL money here and now. If you are top of the line baseball player and you really think you can get that money, you're like a Bryce Harper that came out of high school with so much hype behind him. I think that it's definitely more valuable, but at the end of the day, for average players, you're going to be making more money in the NFL than you would if you're an average player in Major League Baseball.
I agree the same. I think it's a false statement.
False.
So what if you're a mid-level player in MLB? What are usually the mid-range level contracts?
What type of mid-level? Are they like above average or like right below average?
I mean, you're still probably making around
Around
$2 to $10 million a year.
at the max.
Maybe pitching's valued more than
Positional players.
but around that. I mean, if you're not top of the line, I mean, you could be getting upwards of $20-30 million a year, but like I said, that's very top of the line compared to in the NFL. I mean, like you said, getting franchise tagged. I mean, you may be making $14 million for the season.
And you don't even have to be quote unquote elite to be
Right.
getting franchise.
You got to
tagged.
be good.
You do have to be good.
You gotta be
now,
good.
like if you're average,
But you could just have a good season.
yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
all it
saying?
takes. One.
Because I mean, people here were talking about franchise D Ford, but he's literally had one good season.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
and he
That's
would
true.
be making $14 million. So I think mid-level guys that if you can have a really good contract year,
Yeah.
the NFL
That's
is a lot
really
better
all
for
you need.
you.
Because, like, all right, with the MLB, you would have to put in 6 just to get decent money. 6 years opposed to 1 year. I'm gonna take that NFL money personally.
Because that's all. Most of it's up front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get yours.
But
up
to me,
front.
the mid-level money in the NFL sounds. I mean, it's just about the same.
Yeah.
10 million.
It comes down to the risk of you're risking you have to be this good for this long, or at least towards the end of your 6 years in Major League Baseball, and you don't have to. I don't think that you have to worry as much about being as good in the NFL necessarily that you do in baseball to get that top of the line money. Because if I can just put together a few years, maybe, you know, I have a really good contract here this year, I get a really good 3-year deal, and then, you know, I kind of fizzle out a little bit, but that last year is a really solid year. Maybe I get picked up for a 1 year, how much ever it may be, deal. I think in baseball it's a lot different. Once you fall off, you're not making big time money a lot of times anymore.
Unless you come back with like
Right.
an outrageous performance.
Right. I think the biggest risk is you're risking more of your health in the NFL for money that's going to be there now.
And you can get cut. Can't you get cut at any time, basically?
In the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah. But those contracts still go on.
But yeah, and if my money's guaranteed, I'm guaranteed that money.
And how much of that money is going to be guaranteed, too?
Typically, between, I'll say, 50 and 75% of that money is guaranteed.
Yeah.
The rest of it is like quote unquote fairy money. You know, the bonuses, performance bonuses, OTA practices, showing up, different things of that stuff, that nature. But I rather take 50 to 75% of big money than have to gamble on myself for 6 years straight just to get my big payday. You know what I'm saying? What I feel like I'm deserved. So that's my two.
So we got 3 falses, 1 true on that.
Yeah.
All right, now next we have Cardi B should be in jail. True or false? And Rowdy Ray, you can kind of get into the specifics of that whole ordeal.
Well, the whole deal with Cardi B is that supposedly there are males from her past saying that, and there's a video that surfaced also of her saying that she used to have to drug men and lure them to hotel rooms to rob them, back in her older days as a exotic dancer. And she's facing a lot of backlash because some people are, by general definition, that is rape. You know what I'm saying? To drug somebody without their consent and then to have sex with them while they're drugged is, there's a lack of consent there, which counts as rape. And basically, she should be held accountable, but for her to go to jail, can we prove that she did it? At this point, it's only she admitted it, but to which counts?
Assuming she did.
Assuming she did it, yeah.
But she admitted it. That's an admission.
Yeah, it's an admission, but to what specific crime?
Okay, cool. But assuming she did, what you got?
True. Damn.
I say it's true too.
Damn.
Sorry.
I get it out. Assuming she did. Yes, assuming. But like I said, I will wait for all the facts to come out, before I make my.
That's cool. That's
assessment.
that's nice cookie cutter stuff.
Here you go, bro.
But assuming she said she did what she said she did, you're saying true.
I said true. Yeah,
All right, bro. I'm asking you a question. God damn.
You pressing my line?
Yeah. I'm
cut the cookie cutter shit.
No, I'm just trying to get a definitive
Press his
answer.
line.
Bro, this nigga, he pressed my line like Nancy Grace, cuz. Come on, cuz. Relax.
Give me a goddamn answer.
I'm only saying truths because Bill Cosby got accused of stuff from years ago, that's just hearsay with no real factual evidence that he did or did not, and he got convicted of it. But Cardi B admitted to drugging people and doing these sexual acts to people, and nothing.
I don't think did she do any sexual acts? After
That she didn't explicitly admit to doing sexual acts. Though.
Yeah, she just said that she used it to rob them.
Yes.
But still, that's a crime.
It's a crime. No, I'm just saying, but
she
that's a whole other.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get
The
what you're
views
saying.
of Jamal do not represent the Chauvin Show. Let me
Why you saying that? Jamal didn't even say. Meezy ain't even say nothing.
Okay. All right. Let me put it like this: Cardi B is not Bill Cosby. She didn't have 30 counts of rape. This nigga,
No, he's not.
I'm saying that they both committed crimes and they both should be accounted for.
I'll say this because one of the men that came forward about the crime revealed it as a hoax. Which you get what I'm saying? So now that's
he made up his version.
I know.
But what was the exact admission? What that she said?
She said this is how I used to have to survive. That I would have to be in the club, lure a guy outside of the club, then drug him, then rob him. Which basically you lure him to a hotel under the premise that consensual sex is going to occur.
Right.
And then she would drug said guy to, perform a robbery.
Look, man.
Yeah, I mean, either way,
I mean it's dead wrong.
Yeah, no, either way, I think that I think very true. She should be in jail if that's what she did, but I don't know. Like I think, like you said, more details will have to come out about the sexual allegations. Because, but if it comes out, I mean, like, why? I think she's in the same boat as Bill Cosby.
That's a reach.
How?
When you have 30.
How the fuck we don't know she
How do you know she don't have 30?
30 motherfuckers ain't came forward about Cardi B. This man was raping women over decades.
Okay, but right? How do we know that Cardi wasn't doing the same thing? I'm just saying, let the facts come out. That's all I'm saying. And if the facts come out that that was the case, she in the same boat as Bill.
But this is the whole thing. She doesn't have nearly as many victims that have come forward about it.
That's true, but that's what I'm saying. Let the details come out. We don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah, but to say that she's out here putting up them type numbers.
What if in 2 months that
you never
40
know
dudes have come forward saying I got robbed?
Well, then if that's the case, then if only 30 women came forward about Bill Cosby, how many more did we miss? Didn't come forward.
You might have missed a lot.
Hey, I'm saying, so we can play this what if game all day.
That's fine. I'm just saying, if we wait for the facts to come out and it's the same deal, she should be in the same boat. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't say the exact same boat because...
Why?
Why not?
Because this is the one thing. Like you said, until all the details come out. Mm-hmm. So right now, we don't have any confirmation of her performing sexual acts with these people.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying when we let the details come out, if it's the same type of situation, she should be in the same boat as Bill Cosby. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she isn't. I'm just saying if we let time go on and the facts come out and it's the same situation, she should be held accountable.
Are you talking about as in her performing sexual assault?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought you was talking about just her drugging.
No.
There's a difference.
Because there is a difference because, and I think if a dude is going back to a hotel room, and the thought is you're gonna have consensual sex and you get drugged and robbed, I don't think that's because at the end of the day, even if there is, I think it does kind of depend on the drugging, whether it happens before or after. Mm-hmm. But because if she drugged them before they have sex, I still kind of think that's not consensual, because if you're drugged and then then the act happens, like you're not gonna be in your right mind for that.
Oh no, for sure on that. But
I think if she's just going, if she just did what she said, then I'm saying I definitely think that she should be held accountable in some way. I don't think it's necessarily she should be held in jail.
But do you think some type of civil pursuit should be some type of civil?
I think she should have to pay out.
Definitely.
I think you should have to pay out and undergo some type of classes or some type of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if you drugging people.
And that's fair, because if it was a man drugging a woman and robbing her, I'm probably going to be having a different, just being real.
Yeah.
Just being real. And we kind of desensitize abuse against men, which is terrible.
Big facts.
As a society, we do that. So maybe I'm saying something completely different had it been a man drugging a woman and robbing her.
Yeah.
If he came out,
just saying it just sounds.
Yeah, it just sounds extra bad. I'm thinking lock that dude up.
Yeah.
And throw away the key at this point.
And that could be from what the Me Too era has kind of done to us. And I think for the better. I'm not saying it's bad, because I think we need to be aware of the abuse and traumas and things of that nature against women. So I don't think it's for the worst, but I'm just saying, since we're in that era, I think we're more sensitive, a little bit more sensitive anyway, to the things that's going on against women. But yeah, it's such a touchy subject.
Yeah, Yeah. You
True
said
or
all
false?
that. Yeah, I was about to say, you said all that to say true or false.
False for jail time. But if it came out that she did something, she needs to be held accountable in some form or fashion. I don't necessarily think jail time. Maybe.
If you
it's
drugging
tough.
someone though,
Yeah,
like
if you drugging
that's
somebody.
that's what gets me.
But-
Is you're drugging somebody. That's
The fuck.
But you know what I'm also thinking about too is the fact that so many men did some foul shit to women and got away with it. And that might be what I'm kind of bringing into this. I'm not looking at
I
it
kinda
in
feel you,
isolation.
You're looking at it in a biased way.
Yeah. Plus, I'll say this though: most like when it comes to robberies and stuff like that, women are at a distinct disadvantage unless they have a gun. So instead of strong arming somebody, because ain't not too many women gonna be out here strong arm robbing people. It makes more sense for her to do that way in a twisted sense.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's semi understandable, but
Still,
it's I was
yeah.
like, it's still dead wrong at
Yeah.
the end of the day, and that that goes on both sides. Just to
yeah. So you got true or
Nitpick.
false?
I said true.
You said true, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Meezy?
I have to say true.
Three. You going false, Randy? Just false on the jail time, but she needs
There needs to be some type of
repercussions.
Yeah.
It's so I'm like, right? Now I regret kind of pushing your line, bro.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Because I was like,
It's a touchy subject, man.
exactly. That's the main thing I was trying to get at. You know what I'm saying? Because one, we don't have all of the details. Number two, what is the statute of limitations on something like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we know that she kind of grew up fast. You know what I'm saying? Even though she's only like 22, 23, this all because she could have been stripping at like the age of 17 or 18 or something like that. And we don't, statute of limitations could have came up by this time because they only last like 7-8 years. In some cases 10 unless it's murder.
Yeah.
And in or in the state of Pennsylvania, as we learned with Bill Cosby, they don't expire.
So with all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and jump into another one. And this one is today's public won't let you change your views. True or false?
I say true. I don't think that they will, just for the simple fact that you look at people that will dig anything up that maybe you've posted on social media or anything that you've done. Like, people will dig anything up and hold that against you, no matter what your current
Position is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Yeah, to kind of build off of that, it all depends on what side of the line you're on also. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're towing a more liberal line and you said some things that were rather quote unquote like hateful, you know what I'm saying, or may have been in bad taste, they'll be a little bit quicker to forgive. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a conservative and it says some things that could be considered hurtful or in bad taste, they'll crucify you for it. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of depends on what side of the line you're towing.
So your answer is depends?
Yeah.
The segment is true or false.
Oh,
True
I
or
know.
false.
And yet I'm still sitting there on the great line. God damn it, true. It's my ass.
I have to say it's true for my brothers right here. They explained it very well.
I'm going true, and I think it's easy because I say that with ease because look no further than what Kevin Hart had to go through. You're talking about one of the most PC celebrities in Hollywood right now. And when it came out about the homophobic kind of scandal that he went through, they ran his name through the mud, man. So, I mean, if a guy like Kevin Hart is not safe from it, nobody's safe. They're not going to let you change. You can't change. And we see it all the time. They dig stuff up on everybody.
Yeah.
As soon as your name is met with relevancy, they're going back to see what you may have said. And yeah, so I don't think they let you change either. So that's true for me. So we all true.
Unanimously.
True. Has everybody heard Old Town Road by Lil Nas X?
Yeah.
It's more like who hasn't heard it at this point.
Man, I just heard it today.
The song slaps.
It's a fact. That's a fact. Well, Billboard, the Billboard country charts took his song off the top 40 because they said the elements of the song weren't country enough, pretty much.
Yeah, it doesn't represent What country music?
So with that being said, Old Town Road should be considered a country song. True or false?
I think it should be considered country. It may be newer style country, but I think it still should be considered country.
I agree with that. I say true. For sure. I mean, if what a band like Florida Georgia Line, if they're country, why the fuck can't he be country?
And what do you say about Florida Georgia Line? Because I've never listened to them.
Just because like they're more popish, and I know that's like the, you know, like I just know that that's like they're just real popish band, and
They're one of the like higher up country singers nowadays.
yeah.
And didn't like Shania Twain do a bunch of like pop stuff too?
I don't know, honestly.
I
don't know.
You was kind of supposed to be the resident authority on country.
Hey, I don't know
Why?
all country. But
Why, Rowdy Ray?
Because
Is it because he's white?
I did stereotype him. I shoehorned him into that stereotype. Go ahead and send me the sensitivity class, please.
But I feel like at the end of the day, like what
What constitutes
country?
exactly
You know what I mean?
constitutes a song as country?
he's talking about country shit. Like what is
Talking about tractors, you know,
Exactly.
leaving his baby.
so? Why would it not be considered country? I feel, and it's got a, you know, country flair to it
Yeah.
with the beat and all. I mean, if that's what he calls it, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Let's break it down, bro. Let's break it down a little bit.
break it down
This man said, "I got the horses in the back.
in the back.
Horse tack is attached. Hat is matted black. Got the boots that's black to match. If that's not country, I don't know what is.
Just happened around. That's all.
True. It should be considered country.
You know what? I'm going true, and I don't know a damn thing about country.
They ain't never told no lies. It's always true.
And that's all we're going to say about that. But speaking of Old Town Country Road, I got to thinking of a question to pose to you guys. What is your favorite genre bending moment in music?
That Nelly Tim McGraw song.
See, and that was the thing. That's like immediate. The first thing I thought when I heard Old Town Road. But that's what everybody's been saying on Twitter too, bringing it back up. So I would say mine would be probably the most important genre bending moment in rap, and that's Aerosmith and Run DMC.
Yeah.
Walk This Way.
Great song.
Basically, rap was in its infancy at the time, and that basically made Run DMC rock stars.
Exactly. And to kind of piggyback off what he said, that's my favorite moment. And boo to that damn Nelly and Tim McGraw song.
What?
That song was awful.
What?
Hot take. Kiss my ass. That song was awful.
Are you?
Damn.
And it's all in my head. Shut that shit
No.
up. That shit
So
awful.
hold up.
No. What was so awful about the song?
Tim McGraw sounded like shit. Even though I respect what the song was about, the execution of it was shite.
You a hating ass motherfucker.
Why I gotta be all that?
Because, bro, you didn't have a
my
crush.
own opinion.
Nah. You didn't have a crush, bro, and because that song came out, we was what?
I think we was about 9 or 10.
You ain't have a crush, bro, and you was riding down the highway,
I knew
and
what
it
the
was
song was
raining, and the
about,
rain
bro.
was rolling down the window, and you was looking out the window thinking about your crush that broke your heart, bro.
I was playing music
Singing
Soul
over
Child.
and over again.
I wasn't singing that. That song was about his
I was
dead
playing
sister.
music so time
My
because
auntie-
I'm a woke black man. Fuck up, nigga.
See, I mean, I just did not prefer to listen to that song. I just rather listen to music Soul Child, and I don't think I should be judged for that.
You not judged, bro, but you came at it wrong, bro.
Yeah,
You talking about his trash.
but it was.
It wasn't.
It didn't age well either.
I disagree.
I say he's right on that.
Thank you.
I
say
disagree.
he's right.
I played it.
It didn't age well. It did not age well. At the time, it was a good song.
The
But
guitar lick sounds lazy. Tim McGraw sound like he phoned it in. Nelly, the only person that tried on that track to me.
now listening to it, he's right. But back,
I'd have to go back and listen to it. I ain't heard that song
back
in a
the
minute.
day, it was a slap. It was one of the bangers.
It still
you
slapped
listened
to me.
I can't
Randy,
say that now.
a lot of things still slap to you that shouldn't slap.
What? No, let's get into it. What?
Nah, we not gonna do that.
Roast me, nigga.
That's for
In me.
That's for another day. I'm gonna save this.
No.
We're not going there. So, Levi, what you think
Of
like
the song?
one other song, and then like, is that like your genre bend moments? Like, is that your favorite?
No, I would have to go with. I wanted to say the Run DMC with Aerosmith because that was dope, but honestly, I have to say an even better moment. Big Crit when he got his song with.
Get him out of here.
I knew Big Crit was gonna come out.
I've seen it.
BB King.
All right.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
That song wasn't even good, bro.
Man, fuck that.
The moment was good.
That song was dope.
The ideal was good.
Exactly.
Nah,
Execution,
ideal was
not
good.
so much.
Nah, that song's great.
Rest in peace, BB King, bro. All love, you a legend.
For real.
I was on the road.
I knew he was gonna say Crit.
No which way to go. I think I hear a praying man coming.
Bro, nobody. And I mean nobody at all. Y'all heard how good Big Crit is? This is Levi.
Fuck out of here. Big Crit the best in the game,
See,
right?
look, there you go.
Best overall artist in the game.
Tired of this thing.
Cut his mic, please.
King remembered in time.
Crit dope though. Crit dope.
And it's not to say he not, but that nigga Levi a homer.
I am. I will admit that. I am. But yeah, BB King and Big Crit, I think, was my favorite moment.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning into the Show Bank Show. We hope you enjoyed the show today. We've made it to a milestone of sorts with this being our 10th episode. And we just really appreciate all our listeners tuning in. You guys can check us out on YouTube at Showbanks Show. On Instagram at Showbanks, Twitter at Showbanks. And don't forget to check us out on WordPress at ratedrstudios.home.blog. That's ratedrstudios.home.blog. Like I said, you guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Probably one of our best to date. And we're going to keep it coming.
I got killers to the left of me. We was lurking on her. Ain't show no mercy on her. We was going back to back. We put a curfew on her. It was dark clouds on us, but that was perfect for us. We know you always crash and burn, but it was working for us. Let my tent to B12, double check the details. Gotta cross my T's and dot my I's or I can't sleep well. Millions off of retail, once again I prevail. Knew that shit was over from the day I dropped my pre-sale. Hold up, let the beat build. See me in the street still. I've been fighting battles up a steep hill. They gave my road dog 12, it was a sweet deal. And I've been riding solo trying to rebuild. Look, I was riding around in the V12 with the racks in the middle. Had to pray to Almighty God, they let my dog out the kennel. When you get it straight up by the mud, you can't imagine this shit. I've been pulling up in the drop tops with the baddest bitches. Young nigga been focused on my check. Got a new coupe wrapped around my neck. Trying to put the water on my potato. I got killers to the left of me. Yeah, look, under no condition would you ever catch me slipping. Motorcaded shooters plus the Maybach chauffeur driven. If they catch me with it, don't send me off to prison. Judge ain't sympathizing, court don't show forgiveness. Engine in the Lambo drowning out the music. Sip Dior with the flowers, 5 gold Cubans. Champagne while I shop, hope I splurge foolish. Closing escrow twice this month, both commercial units. Damn, I wish my nigga Fast was here. How you died 30-something after banging all them years? Grammy nominated, in the sign of shedding tears. All this money, power, fame, and I can't make you reappear. But I'll wipe them though. We just embrace the only life we know. If it was me, I'd tell you, nigga, live your life and grow. I tell you, finish where we started, reach them heights, you know. And gas the V12 to the pipe and smoke. I was riding around in the V12 with the racks in the middle. Had to pray to Almighty God, they let my dog out the kennel. When you get it straight up by the mud, you can't imagine this shit. I've been pulling up in the drop tops with the baddest bitches. Young nigga been focused on my check. Got a new coupe wrapped around my neck. Trying to put the water on my potato. I got killers to the left of me. Another $1 million bill, that's just some regular shit. See my granny on the jet, some shit I never forget. Next day we flew to Vegas with my Puma Connects. We break bread, we ain't new to success. Blade music and best. Enterprise, take lucrative steps. Cold game, but I knew it was chess. As a youth in the set, learn the game, you a student at best. But it's a couple things you can expect. Look, just It's like money, no money. Niggas shooters respect. Other shooters, we was both throwing my crew on your neck. I'm on the freeway in the drop, it got me losing my breath. I do the dash with the blues on the deck.